yoga. So thanks for being here, everyone. You can go ahead and arrive at your seat and we'll chat here for just a moment. I am so happy to be here at my friend Claudia's house in Torrey, kind of just around the corner from Teesdale. And yeah, we'll be teaching from here. So you're welcome for the background. Thank you, Claudia. And as we move into our practice, it's funny, we were just chatting a moment ago, Claudia and I, about this re-emergence from COVID, from the pandemic, and that there were certain things about being in lockdown that we really appreciated, that we actually really liked, the going inward, the slowing down, the not being able to go out and about and have like all this busyness. And I think as we start to reemerge from this, taking care, moving with caution and care as we come out into the world again. And I think a lot of people can relate to this, but not planning everything every second of the day, all the days of the week. And I think moving with wisdom and mindfulness as we come out of this thing. And it made me think of this poem by Marie Howe. It's called Prayer. And I'll start with this as we move into our practice. She says, "Every day I want to speak with you, and every day something more important calls for my attention. The drugstore, the beauty products, the luggage I need to buy for the trip. Even now I can hardly sit here. Among the falling piles of paper and clothing, the garbage trucks outside already screeching and banging. The mystics say, you are as close as my own breath. Why do I flee from you? My days and nights pour through me like complaints and become a story I forgot to tell. Help me. Even as I write these words, I am planning to rise from the chair as soon as I finish this sentence." And so as we start our practice, be taking a moment here just to arrive, to be here with your breath, to be in your body. Noticing what is here now, to be felt, to be noticed, to be experienced. And using our movement practice this morning, our yoga and asana practice to anchor us back to our present moment. And so, moving toward your Ujjayi breath, if you haven't already, that gentle engagement, connection, using the muscles at the back of your throat. Good. And on your next in-breath, extending the arms all the way up alongside the ears. And exhaling the hands together at the heart. Good. Again, like that. Inhale, extend the arms out wide and reach all the way up. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Good. One more like that. Inhale, stretch it up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Stretch just the right arm up alongside the ear. Reach up. Let's come up and over into a side bend, side body stretch. Taking a few expansive and full deep breaths here along this right side. Good. One more huge breath. Reach it up and over. Perfect. Bring it back up. Stretch the arms out wide. And take your right arm underneath your left, coming into a little eagle arm position. Right arm underneath your left. Lift up through your elbows and your forearms. Press the elbows and the forearms forward, stretching through the shoulders and the upper back. Take another full breath here. And then bring this whole thing forward just a little bit if that's accessible to you. Maybe touching the floor with your forearms, and if not, that's okay. Just move in that direction. Good. One more breath here. Opening through the back body. And then let's bring it back upright. And unwind the arms, stretch back out, reach the right arm back up again, take your hand to your upper back between the shoulder blades, left arm comes up and over, hold on to the right elbow and stretch on over to your side. So a little opening through the right shoulder and tricep and side body. Good. Last breath here. Bring it back upright. Release your elbow. Bring your arms down. Good. And just take a moment to switch up the cross of your legs. So this is probably your non-habitual way of crossing your legs. And then extend your left arm all the way up. Stretch it up. Come up and over into your side bend, side body stretch here on the other side. Feeling into the left ribs and shoulder and arm, torso. Good. Take one more spacious breath here, reaching up and over. And then extending back up, take the arms out wide. Left arm goes underneath your right arm for eagle arms in a seated position. Lift up a little bit through your elbows and your forearms, press forward. Opening through your shoulders and upper back. Good. And then again, if it's accessible to you, go ahead and come forward. Drop your arms toward the floor. Deep, full breath here. Good. One more breath. Good. Ease back up. Stretch back up. Unwind the arms. Reach them back out wide. Left arm goes up. Bend your elbow. Hand to the upper back. Right hand over to the left elbow. and give it a little gentle pull over to the side, stretching through the tricep and shoulder and side body. Good. One more huge breath here. And back up. Releasing your elbow. Bring your hands behind you now. Uncross your legs. Feet to the floor. And we're just going to windshield wiper the knees side to side here. A couple rounds. I'm starting to move through the hips and the low back. Good. And then back up through center, transitioning forward to the hands and the knees. So as you come forward, we'll start to move just a little bit here through our cat-cow, opening up the heart on the in-breath, a little lift of the tailbone. And then exhale, tuck and round your spine. Good. Inhale, little spinal extension. And exhale, moving into that flexion. Good. One more round like this. Inhale. And exhale. And this time, go ahead and sit all the way into a child's pose, all the way back toward the heels of the feet. You're welcome to take your knees a little bit wider and just let your body feel the ground here for just a moment. Good. On your next in-breath, come back up to your hands and your knees and make your way into downward facing dog. So push down through your palms, lift your hips up, and feel into this first down dog of practice. Walk it out a little bit here, pressing one foot to the floor and then the other. Good. Can you feel into both stability and ease within your posture? 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, go ahead and bend through your knees and look forward, step or hop toward the top of your mat. Flat back as you inhale, so lengthen out through your spine. Exhale, fold and bring it in. Hang out here for just a couple of breaths. Shake out your head. Relax your neck and your shoulders and your jaw. Good. And then let's go ahead and come all the way up to standing. So ground your feet, stretch the arms all the way up, lift up, gaze up. Exhale, hands together, heart center. Beautiful job. Arms go back up as you inhale, stretch up, lift, and lengthen. Exhale, dive forward, coming into your forward fold. Halfway lift on the in-breath, lengthen. Exhale, fold back in. And then come all the way back up to standing. Stretch up, reach up, gaze up. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Good. Arms back up on in-breath. Stretch up and lift. Long through the sides of the body. Exhale, dive forward into your fold. Lengthen to that flat back. Extend your spine. And this time we'll take it into our plank pose. So root down through your hands, step your feet back and hold plank, upper push-up. Maybe even Pushing with your toes, rocking the whole body forward and then back a couple of times. Strong through your arms and wrists and core. Good. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower down, chaturanga. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back and open up into a cobra pose. Stay here for an extra breath. Encourage traction along your spine. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Breathe here. Little lift of your tailbone, drawing back through your thighs, heels toward the floor. 2 more breaths. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Flat back, inhale, spinal extension. Exhale, fold. Back up to standing on your next in-breath. Reach up, maybe a little mini back bend here. And exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Good. Bend your knees now and sit back into a chair pose. Lengthening through your spine, sit just a little bit deeper. Pull back through your knees and your thighs. Bend your elbows, opening up to a goalpost position with your arms. Take another breath here. And then if it's available, go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back. Pull back through your shoulder heads as though you're trying to pull shoulder blades toward one another on the back. And if you can, lift your hands out away from your lower back, telescoping up through the ribs and the heart. Take another breath here. And then come into a forward fold, keeping your clasp for just a couple of breaths. Good. And exhale, gently release your clasp down. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Plant your hands, step or hop your way back. Plank pose, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lengthen your right leg back, reach it up. 3-legged downward dog. Take an extra breath here, reach through the leg, lift up a little higher. As the right leg reaches up, draw your left heel a little bit closer to the ground. Any amount will be fine. Bend your right leg, lift up through your hip, so point your knee out to the right, bringing your right heel toward your left glute. And then step that right foot through, coming into a high lunge or crescent lunge. So your back heel stays lifted up. Square off the hips, really hug that right hip back, left hip forward, squeeze through inner thighs and reach up. Now we're going to do something similar here that we did in chair pose. So the first thing we're going to do is bend the elbows and open up your chest and come into a little bit of a back bend here in our crescent lunge pose. Good. And then staying in your lunge, drop your arms, clasp your hands behind your back. Open up the shoulders and lift. Now, bend your back knee at a hover. Pull the shoulders back, knuckles down, lift up through your chest. Couple of breaths here. Good. And then straighten up this back leg. Keep the clasp. Bring chest and belly toward your right thigh. Good. Take another breath here. Now gently release your clasp down to the floor, or hands to the floor rather. Step your right foot back to plank pose. Shift your weight over into your right hand, your right palm. For Vashisthasana, side plank. Pull the hips up away from the ground. Lengthen. Maybe send that left arm forward alongside your ear. You can even float up through your left leg if you want. 2 more breaths. Good. All the way back, plank pose, chaturanga, or straight to downward dog. Good. Take your time to get there, back to down dog. And then take your left leg back. Stretch it up. Feel your breath here, left leg reaching, right heel a little bit closer to the ground. Bend your left leg. Lift and open up through your hip. Pointing left knee out to the left, left heel toward right glute, shoulders stable. Step your left foot through, coming into your crescent lunge or high lunge. So starting here with your back heel lifted, square off the hips, squeeze through inner thighs, lengthen up tall. Take another breath. Bend your elbows and start to open up your chest here. Good. Last breath here, and then you'll stretch back up. Drop the arms down and clasp your hands behind your back. Shoulders back, lift the chest, knuckles down. Bend your back knee at a hover. Squeeze through those inner thighs, wrap back through your shoulders and lift up through your chest. Couple more breaths here. Straighten up back leg, chest and belly toward your left thigh. Good. Keep lengthening through your spine and out through the crown of your head. Good. Gently release your clasp hands down to the floor. Step your left foot back, plank pose. Shift your weight over to your left hand. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot, or maybe come down to the knee. Pull hips up, away from the ground. As you push the ground away, take your right arm forward alongside your ear. Option to pick up your top leg. 2 more breaths. Good. All the way back to plank, upper push-up. You can go directly to down dog or lower down chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Yay, good job guys. Okay, come down to your knees for dolphin. All right, down to your elbows and your forearms. It's probably not what you had in mind, huh, Claudia, when you said shoulders. All right, that's okay, we'll get there. So forearms parallel, or you could clasp your hands, make a little tripod. If that feels more stable, that's fine. Let your head go, let your neck relax. Keep your elbows and forearms squeezing in. Pick up your knees and tiptoe forward toward your face. So really pull in through your belly, navel to spine. Either keep it here or extend your right leg up into the air for a couple of breaths. Doesn't have to be for long, but using the right leg in the air to lift and pull the body up a little higher. Take another breath and switch legs. So right foot to the ground, left leg reaching up, stretch it up tall. Good, last breath here. Now left foot down, take one more breath in dolphin, everybody. Send a sigh out your mouth. The lion's breath. All right, knees down, sit on back, child's pose. Good work. All right, come back up to your hands and your knees. And you're going to take the knees just a little bit wider. Stretch your right arm out and up, open through the chest. Thread the needle. So your right arm goes underneath your left. Good, and then unwind out of that, send the right arm back out, stretch it back up, and back to the floor, and other side. Left arm stretches out, reach it up, and then thread the needle on this side. Left arm underneath your right. And last full breath. And let's come out of that, unwind. Take your left arm back out and stretch it up. And bring the left hand back to the floor. Good. So downward facing dog. Lift your hips up, stretch it back. Take a breath or two here. Just coming back to our home base of sorts. And then bend your knees, look forward, step or hop toward the top of your mat. Flat back, inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, fold. All the way up to standing. So reach up, open, and then hands together at the heart. Good. Okay, I'm going to turn and face you for this next little bit. We're going to work with Eagle Pose, Garudasana. So let's start with the hands on the hips, and we'll bend the knees, kind of like sitting back into a chair pose. Stand on your right foot first. So standing on the right foot, pick up your left leg and wrap it around your right, maybe tucking those toes behind your calf. Standing leg is bent. Squeeze your inner thighs, take your arms out wide. That could be where you stay. Or with that left leg on top, take your left arm underneath your right. So palms come together in front of the face. Lift up a little bit through the fingertips and the forearms and the elbows. Take another breath here. And then as you exhale, see if you can fold this in, touching elbows to that top knee, and then bringing it back up to your eagle. Little balance challenge, one more breath, sit a little deeper, and then let's unwind out of that. Stretch the arms all the way up, reach up, and just let your arms come back down. Good, perfect. So Eagle Pose on the other side, Garudasana, feet about hip width apart. Bend your knees, sitting like you're sitting into chair pose. This time you're going to stand on your left leg. Pick up your right leg, wrap it around. Maybe with that little second wrap or tuck of the toes behind your calf. Take your arms out wide. So now with your right leg up and over, right arm is going to go underneath the left for Eagle Pose. Sit a little bit deeper here. Squeeze those inner thighs. Press elbows and forearms forward. Lift up a little bit through the fingertips. Take another breath. And then exhale. Close it in. So touch elbows to that top knee. And then bring it back up. Back to your eagle. Good, and then unwind out of this. Whew. Take the arms up, stretch up, reach up, and exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Beautiful, halfway lift on in-breath. Take hands down, step or hop it back, plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Right leg in the air. Bend your leg, open up your hip. Good, step right foot through. Warrior two. Good, so extending out through your arms, arms parallel with the ground. Press equally into the floor through both feet. Take another breath here. Now we're going to stay in our warrior two stance. Take the right arm straight up. Bend your elbow, hand to the upper back. So we did this stretch at the beginning of practice. Take your left hand over to your right elbow. Stay in your warrior two with your legs, and then kind of pull that right elbow back. This is a variation of reverse warrior. You can keep it here, or maybe you take this left arm down behind the back and do what's called archer arms, clasping your hands behind you. Good. Can you stay here for 2 or 3 more breaths? Maybe deepening into that lunge and leaning it back. Good. Come back upright. Now stick with me here. Stay in your warrior two. Right arm underneath your left for eagle warrior hybrid. So we've done a lot of these eagle arms. Lift up a little bit through your elbows and your forearms and press forward like you're trying to separate your shoulder blades. Breathe right into that space in your upper back. Good. Take another full breath here. Stay in your eagle arms. If you're able, drop this down. So forearms or hands toward the floor. If that's too much, just unwind the arms and bring your hands down. Good. Take one more strong breath here. Unwind the arms, hands to the floor. Walk your hands to the left and spin your right toes. So now all 10 toes should be facing the same direction, the left side of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen, and then exhale, fold. Good. Breathe here, root down through the inner and the outer edges of your feet. Let your head go. Good. Last full breath here. Inhale to that halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, connect to your core, come all the way up to standing. Good. Turn the right toes forward, re-extend the arms. We're going to go right into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. So put a little bend in that front leg, almost like you're about to do a cartwheel. And you can take a block out in front of you if you'd like. So right fingertips to the floor about a foot beyond your toes. Float your left arm and your left leg up. And stacking the body here on its side. Push through that right foot, Lengthen up through the left arm and the left toes. Maybe bend your left leg here and reach back and find your foot for a half bow. Good. Take another strong breath here. Release out of that and send your left hand down. Step back all the way to plank. Good. Down dog or chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Nice job, everybody. Come down to your knees. And we're going to move into a dolphin variation called flash prep. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Drop down to your right forearm, just your right forearm. Slide your left hand back about 4 inches behind that right elbow. So your left arm kind of looks like a chaturanga arm. The elbow is bent kind of at a right angle. So you don't want your hand too close, or your wrist won't be underneath your elbow. Now squeeze your left elbow in, kind of like our chaturanga arm. Push into the floor with your left hand. Pick up your knees. See if you can distribute the weight equally between your right forearm and your left hand. Tiptoe forward a little bit toward your face. And then you can keep it here, or take your right leg up. So your right leg reaches, push with your left hand, right forearm to the floor, reach through your right toes, keep breathing. 2 more breaths. Good. Now bring your right foot back down. You can come all the way down to your knees. And drop your belly down to the floor, belly and pelvis coming into Sphinx Pose. So your elbows and your forearms are forward a little bit. Pull like a telescope, rib cage and chest forward. Good. Release back down to the floor and send your arms back along your sides. Now on your next in-breath, lift arms and legs up, away from the ground, coming into Locust Pose. Put a slight bend in your elbows, pull back through your shoulders, lift up through your heart. Strong legs, lift it through your core. Good. Last full breath here. Maybe lift through your heart a little bit more. Release. Stretch your right arm straight out to the right for shoulder pigeon. So left hand to the ground. We'll roll over to your right side. Point the left knee up toward the ceiling or toward the sky. Whatever the case may be. And if you would like to move this a little deeper, coming into half bow, you could take your left arm up, maybe reach back and grab a hold of your left foot. Kind of like what we did in half moon if you work with that variation. Quad stretch, and then a little back bend. A couple more breaths here. Good, beautiful job, everybody. Come back, release, come back to your belly. Press up to your hands and your knees. And just take a couple of rounds of cat-cow here. And then coming coming into downward facing dog. So press down through your palms, hips lift. And then left leg in the air, reach it up. Bend your left leg, open up through your hip. And step it through, coming into Warrior Two on your left side. So strong legs, strong lower body extending out through the arms. And as you feel into that strength in your legs and your core, see if you might soften just a little bit through your shoulders and your neck. Make sure you can kind of turn your head side to side. A couple more breaths here. We're going to maintain that stability and kind of efforting in the lower body. Take the left arm up, bend your elbow, hand to the upper back. Bring your right hand over to your left elbow and just give it a little gentle pull back. Tricep and shoulder. You can keep it there or take your right arm down. You can bring your arm behind the back, maybe clasping your hands, or come into whatever variation of this that might suit you. For a couple more breaths, you can start to lean it back a little bit. Good. Come back upright. Re-extend out through the arms. Stay in your Warrior Two stance in your legs. Now, left arm drops down, goes underneath your right arm for this Eagle Warrior hybrid. Strong legs lifted up through your elbows, forearms, and fingertips. Now, you can always stay upright, or option to drop this shape down. So fingertips or forearms toward the ground. Couple more breaths here. Good. Last full breath. Unwind the arms. Hands down, walk your hands this time over toward your right. Spin your feet. And lengthen on your in-breath. And then exhale, fold. Now you can keep it like we did before, or maybe you choose to unweight your hands and reach your arms behind you, clasping the hands behind your back and drawing your shoulders back, hands away from your low back toward the ground and overhead. Good. One more breath here. Releasing your clasp, if you got it, hands toward the floor. Lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to your hips. Connect to core, come all the way up to standing. Good. Now turn the left toes forward. Re-extend the arms, and we're going to come into our half moon on this side. So again, kind of like you're moving into a cartwheel towards your left. Maybe take a block out in front of you. Bend into that front leg. Pick up your right arm and your right leg coming into your standing balance. Root down through that left foot. Lengthen up through the right arm, right leg. Good. Option here to bend the right leg, grab the foot in your half bow. Two more breaths. Beautiful. Release on out of that. Step it all the way back plank pose. You can go right to down dog or chaturanga. Moving through that vinyasa, downward facing dog. Good. Come on down to your knees for our flash prep. So this is a dolphin variation. Drop down to your left forearm. Right hand comes back. So your right fingertips are maybe 4 or 5 inches behind your left elbow. Your right arm is bent like a chaturanga arm. Now push with your right hand and your left forearm. Try to keep the shoulders and the hips kind of level. Pick up your knees. Good. Root down, maybe tiptoe forward a little bit. Now the left leg will reach up in this flash prep. Push with your right hand, strong left arm lifted through your core. 2 more breaths here. Good, everybody. And release. Left foot down, knees come down. Whew. And then bring both forearms forward, drop down for Sphinx. So you'll hold the rib cage forward, lift up through your chest. Good. And then release to the floor. Take your arms back along your sides for locust. Now, you could clasp hands behind your back if you want. Pull shoulders back, lift the chest, and maybe lift up. And lift up through your legs. Doesn't matter how high they are. Strong. If your fingers are interlaced behind your back, continue to pull shoulders back, lifting up through your heart. Couple more breaths here. Good. And release it back down. Extend your left arm out to the left. Right hand to the floor. Shoulder pigeon. Roll over gently toward your left side. Good. Pointing that right knee up, maybe taking your right arm up, and then grabbing a hold of the right foot, coming into your half bow on this side. Good. Last breath. Come back to your belly. Okay, one last hurrah here, everybody. Coming into Dhanurasana or bow pulling. So arms go back. You can always revisit Locust Pose or bend both legs. Grab a hold of your feet. The tops of your feet are even down to your ankles. And then you're going to kick into your hands enough to pull back through your shoulders. This could be your pose, just like this. Or kick up a little higher and back. So opening up your chest toward the front of your mat. Good. Couple more breaths here. Kick back, lift up, open, find that space. Melt the heart forward and release. Just let your body rest on the ground here for a moment. Bend both legs. And just let The legs windshield wiper side to side. Good. Come back up to your hands and your knees. And extend your right leg back. Try to keep that really strong neutral spine. Option to take your left arm forward as well if you want to work with this spinal balance. And then exhale, pull elbow toward your knee, or just bring your knee toward your chest. Inhale, stretch it back out. Exhale, pull it in. Good. This is great counter pose. One more of these. Inhale, exhale, and this time this right knee is going to move all the way through into Pigeon Pose. Option to come onto your back for figure 4. Square off the hips, lift up through your chest. You could even feel into the stability underneath you and then weight your hands, reach the arms either back or all the way up. And then release and bring it all the way forward. 4, 5 to 7 deep breaths here in your Pigeon Pose. Good. One more breath here. And back upright. And we'll just go back to our hands and knees. So find that strong neutral spine. And we'll send the left leg back. Straight back. Option to take the right arm forward. And then exhale, pull your elbow towards your knee, a little crunch. Inhale, stretch it back out. Exhale, pull the knee in. And inhale, reach back out. Good. Last one here. Exhale. And bring it all the way into Pigeon Pose. So same thing here, really squeeze through inner thighs, see if you can get that stability, and then maybe take your arms out, and then all the way up. Good, and then release and bring it all the way forward into your pigeon. Good. Take another breath or two here. And we'll start to make our way back upright. Take your time to get there. Now we're going to shift on over to the left hip. Swing the right leg around. Make our way onto our backs and hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. And then grab a hold of your feet for a happy baby pose. Drawing the knees out wide, lengthening through the spine, the lower back. Bring the knees back in toward the chest and let both knees drop over to your right for a spinal twist, and whatever spinal twist of choice you'd like to take here. The knees can stay together. You could wrap the legs into like the eagle or twisted root position. Good, and then bring your knees back up through center and let both knees drop over to your left. So whatever version you did on the first side, just repeat that. Good, last breath here. Let's bring the knees back in to center. Stretch the legs out to the floor, out to the ground. Reach your arms up and back alongside the ears. Give yourself a full body stretch here. And then let your arms come down and rest. Spending the last few minutes here together in Shavasana, corpse pose. Letting the ground receive the body. Surrendering any effort, any tension. Every day, I want to speak with you. And every day, something more important calls for my attention. The drugstore, the beauty products, the luggage I need to buy for the trip. Even now, I can hardly sit here. among the falling piles of paper and clothing, the garbage trucks outside, already screeching and banging. The mystics say, you are as close as my own breath. Why do I flee from you? My days and nights pour through me like complaints and become a story I forgot to tell. Help me. Even as I write these words, I am planning to rise from the chair as soon as I finish this sentence. It's Marie Howe. Just feeling here in this moment, the breath in the body. The ground underneath you. And whatever other sensations might be present. And whenever you're ready, you can begin to shift and to move a little bit, opening up the senses. And take your time to transition over to one side, fetal position. And then all the way back up to your seat on the mat. On your next in-breath, let's reach the arms all the way up. And bring the hands together in front of the heart. Beautiful practice, everybody. We'll finish with one round of Om. Take a full breath in. Namaste.